Canada 1006, turn rate to 190.
190 or Canada 1006.
Sky 2 Victor Papa Tower, wind check now 200 degrees, 12 knots, runway 17, clear takeoff.
Gelling 2377, turn rate heading 140 and climb to 15,000.
Hey, right to 140, 15,000, Gelling 2377.
Hey guys, what's up? Got a flight today from Ibiza, where we are right now, all the way to London Gatwick, EGKK, so that's Lima Echo India Bravo to Echo Golf Kilo Kilo. Now, as ever, we are in the absolutely gorgeous British Airways PMDG 777-200, and I absolutely love the aircraft, as you already know, so I'm going to be doing a lot of these flight videos. I've been tweaking my config file a little bit, so apologies for the lack of videos. I've already put in the fuel and the weights and everything, and we've already boarded the passengers and the baggage, thanks to GSX. In fact, I forgot to mention that actually. Yes, I've now bought GSX ground services, and I could not be happier. It's a hell of a lot easier than like manually taxiing around and stuff without realising where I'm going. If you land at an airport, if you're taking off or something, and you want to find your way to the runway or find your way to the gate, so much easier. So we are literally about to start engine number 2, and we will begin the push and start procedure now. Get a little bit better at these. I've been listening to you guys' comments as well on the latest videos and stuff. Thank you very much for the advice. I have been putting a lot of that advice into action while I've been practicing in the aircraft. Specifically the 777, because I'm sort of addicted to that at the minute. So I've tried this flight about 17 times already today, and for some reason shadow play didn't want to work. It just kept like, every time I tried to record something it would crash. So it'd be okay at the beginning, and then like halfway through it'd just decide it doesn't want to record anymore when I hit the hotkey. So this is like the 17th or 18th time I've tried this. This is ridiculous. But as you can see, we're getting pushed back. There's the Marshal down there. We're going to start engine number 1 now. So I love the graphics, like the shadow, look at that. We'll set flaps 5, we might as well. And we'll open the fuel flow, there we go. Almost pushed back, so we can set the parking brake in a minute and sort everything out. It pushes you right back straight onto the taxi line, which is brilliant. You don't have to mess around with like estimating how far you have to go back and stuff. It just does it automatically, it's good. I think we're about pushed back. Yeah, there we go. Set a parking brake. Right, so as I said, we're heading all the way to EGKK. We'll just do a quick recall. Everything looks okay. Do the flight controls now. Take a look, make sure everything's working correctly before we take off for the 18th time and something goes wrong. It's very unlikely. So full forward and back, left and right. We'll try. Looking good. Rudder. Okay, you're unlocking the gear, that's fine. Almost ready to set off. So everything's fine with the controls. So we can tick that off. And we'll just wait while the GSX tells us everything's clear, and we can clear the ground equipment 1. Turn off the APU. All the lights are on and everything. There we go, he's backing up now. Hopefully he'll move out of the way quick, so we can actually get going. Come on, how far do you have to go back? Left and right are clear. Right, okay, that's great. Now we're just waiting for him to get out of the way, which he will be shortly, so we can turn on the taxi light in a second. Yeah, he's far enough out of the way. Taxi light's on. Have a good trip, says GSX. Thank you very much. Right, let's get going. I probably shouldn't have set off yet because that guy's still walking. Might get sucked into the engine or something. But who cares? Let's just get out of here. So we are taking off from runway 24, and when we get to Gatwick, it will be runway 08 right that we will hope to land at using the instrument landing system, or ILS. Nice little, it's crappy scenery this, because it's supposed to be like, I think it's supposed to be a higher resolution or something, and my resolution is set at the resolution that it recommends, but for some reason it still doesn't want to look correctly on the system. It never has done, so I don't really care, to be honest. I've tried everything to get it to work perfectly. I've been messing around with the config file for God knows how many hours of the past few days, and I'm just going to settle for the way it looks at the minute. I should probably turn on FXAA again, because it's certainly not smooth. None of the graphics are very smooth at all, like the lines and stuff. So I got jagged edges. But anyhow, I'll sort that out in a bit. For now, we will taxi to runway 24. So yeah, I posted a video a few days ago about my config file. Now that is currently in my OneDrive, and you can get to that file. Just click the link and download it. It's my current config file. It may be updated when you download it, because I'm constantly making changes to it, and I do back it up using OneDrive, so the version that you get will be the version that I am currently using. So just to clear that up, you know, the file that you downloaded before, if you come back to the link again, it might be different, it might have changed. So just go through it, just make sure, again, as always, if you put in anything into your P3D installation from a third party, you must always back it up. But I'm just experimenting, trying to get a little bit less stuttering in the 777, and I've got a few like tweaks and stuff from people, not necessarily to the config file but to other settings for P3D, and they seem to be working. Like for this airport, Ibiza airport, it works fine, but you will see when we get over to Gatwick that there will be a tremendous amount of stuttering. So I'm trying to find sort of even ground and trying to sort of solve that, but in the meantime I just thought I'd post this video and get it out there, because I don't want to be letting my channel go stale and not posting anything. So I thought, why not do a trip from Ibiza to London Gatwick. I think I've already done one from Ibiza to Doncaster, Sheffield, my local airport, but I've never actually done one to EGKK before, and I've never actually done one in the 777. This is the second full flight video I've done in the 777 as well. So anyways, we are on the runway now. We literally just have to start the clock, put the landing lights on, turn off the taxi lights, and we should be good to go. So start the clock and toga, 152 knots. We'll be flying today at 38,000 feet. I usually fly at 370, but thought why not, we'll do a 380 today, see if we can get some better view and like scenery from slightly higher altitude. So we are approaching V1, here we go. Trying to follow the 6-second rule. V1, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we are up. Yeah, I read that there was apparently, it's 6 seconds from when you reach V1 to actually leaving the ground. I believe that's what I read. I think it is anyway. But a nice little bit of Ibiza scenery, minus the shitty airport scenery that you'll see in a second. But yeah, so we've taken off, there we go. I set the speed to around 240 manually because I don't want it to go over 250 when we're below 10,000 feet. Just set it a bit lower actually, just to make sure, because we are going a little bit fast. I don't want to reach 250 knots too quickly. Show you a wing view in a moment. Just get everything set up, put the heading in. I can see the nice scenery, it looks quite nice as it is like. So flaps up, everything's sorted, and there we go, look at the wing view. Now that does look nice. Got the clouds by the way are Rex, and I've set the settings to low. I never have high settings on the clouds. But look at that view, it's really nice, isn't it? I can't remember what tweak I've used, but there's a tweak I've used to make it so like you get less draw distance, but like more of a fading effect into the distance. I can't even remember how I did that. I'll have to look it up and like add that to a future tweak video or something. But it's nice. I think it looks nice. So as ever, what I will probably do Let's just set the pressurization. What I'll probably do is, once we get a little bit higher, I will show you some of the views and everything of the aircraft. I'll just let it do its thing, fly to destination, and I'll show you some of the scenery on the way when I edit the video. There we go. I just love it. Look how crisp it is as well. It's like really crisp. I love that effect. The water's not too great, but to be honest, I'm not too fussed. So anyways, let's just get off and let you watch some of this amazing scenery on the way back to London Gatwick, EGKK. I will be back with you as we approach the ILS, and yeah. Alright, so here we are. We are approaching the localizer and the glide slope. We are at 3,000 feet. And we should be capturing it pretty well. It's taken us about, well, almost 2 hours, I think. Maybe a little bit more. Nice little wing view for you there. I believe there is a little bit of wind, so we might have a bit of an issue on landing. I think, let me just check this information that I've got here. We have got a crosswind coming from the south. So we are going to have a little bit of difficulty when we take over manually. I'm not the best at manual landings, even after taking over at either 500 or 1,000 feet from the autopilot, but I'm getting used to it. So I still have to get used to all the procedures and everything because I don't fully understand exactly what to do. So I try and make do at the minute and sort of like get through the best I can. Until I start learning, obviously, every little thing that you have to do. But according to the weather charts, we are going to have a bit of a southerly burst of wind as we approach the actual runway, so we'll be prepared for that, hopefully. And I'm really hoping at some point that the localizer begins to capture. We are very close to it at the moment. And of course we do have all the frequencies and everything set up in the NavRad page, or Nav Radio page. And if I am not mistaken, the localizer and the glide path are beginning to capture now. We are just turning right to runway heading. Probably shouldn't say beginning to capture, but we are beginning to establish them very slowly. So I think that's the proper way to put it, really. But the runway heading is 079 for 08 right. So I'm hoping that this wind that we're going to have doesn't affect us too much. I think the autopilot will try to compensate. Right, so we're a little bit closer now, and the localizer and glide slope are getting closer and closer to the centre, so we should have a full lock very soon, if that's even what you call it, and well, we should be established. That's the proper way of putting it. So there's the glide slope, that's in, and the localizer we're still waiting for, which is probably because of this wind. But we'll get there eventually. We are still making a turn towards the runway, so that's probably why we're taking a little bit longer than expected to capture the localizer. Struggling with the wind a little bit, I think, is the autopilot. We've got the speed set, sorry, at 138, even though it says 137 on the reference page for approach. And the reason for that is because of the wind. I don't want it to sort of like blow us off course slightly and make us too fast, well, too slow, should I say, which I've had happen to me before on one of the many times I've failed this flight. It decided to blow us too slow and the engine's almost stalled, so that was a bit embarrassing. Just a little bit further to the right and localizer should actually be captured fully. I've got the option enabled in the PMDG options to allow the glide slope to capture before the localizer. Don't know whether that's advisable or not, but it hasn't failed me yet. It's worked, it's managed to do its job. There's not a very great deal of visibility either. For some reason we've got quite a bit of fog and the clouds are pretty low. We are at like 2,000 feet, so, or just less than 2,000 actually. I think what I'll do next, I think I'm going to like do some long haul flights, because these are only like 2.5 hours, and you know, I think, in fact I don't think I've done a very long flight at all in the 777, to be honest. Well, I have, but I've not recorded it, so I might get into actually doing some much longer flights, you know, like from like London to New York or something. Should be pretty interesting, but we will have to see, because obviously at the minute I have a great deal of commitment to learning the aircraft and learning stuff as well, so I'll try and fit it in around that. A lot of the videos that I record I don't actually edit and end up putting on, because they are purely and simply for my training use, for like reference, for me to go back and see what I did wrong and see what I did right and stuff. So that's the main reason that I don't upload every single day. But I think channels, they upload every single day. I don't think it's probably the best idea, because you can sort of swamp people if you do that. So I like to keep people waiting, just like maximum of about 4 or 5 days, and just like upload a video. So, but I always have new ideas. That's the thing. So it's not as if this channel's going to get boring. I've got you guys to advise me, and you know, I've got loads of ideas myself. So we should be good. So there we go. Disabled the autopilot in my aircraft now. And I'm hoping I don't do what I did before, which was go a bit too low and end up like smashing through some trees. I think I was like really low, so I'm going to try and keep it a little higher before actually follow it, because if you follow the glide slope, you actually it's unrealistic, because the trees are in the way, and it actually, in real life, you would have like hit them with the engine or something. So I'm having to sort of do it with a higher approach here. It's those trees there right in front of me there. So here we go. I've not had any problems with the wind yet. In fact, actually yes I have. I can feel it. Well, I can't really feel it, but I can tell there's... Here we go. It's blown me to the right. Left, sorry. Here we go. And finally, there we go, touchdown. Wasn't a perfect touchdown, and we are a bit to the left, but I think I did pretty well there, considering the fact that I had to disengage at 500 feet as opposed to 1,000 because of the visibility and the wind as well. I think I did pretty well. So we're coming to a stop, so I will put the flaps up and put the speed brake away. FPS is getting hit again because we are at London Gatwick. That's the only problem. I get this stuttering effect. If anybody can give me any advice on how to get rid of the stuttering effect, I will love you forever. Anyways, so welcome to London Gatwick. A successful flight. Don't know whether I did everything right. I hope I did it better than my previous flight, but then again I am learning all the time, so yeah. I think we're going to take the closest gate we can, so let's just turn on the APU, or start it, turn off the landing lights, we'll turn on the taxi lights. Or turn off the landing lights, should I say. Did I say that? I have no idea. My head is not with me today. I think we're going to take this gate that's directly in front of us. It looks like it's the most obvious gate to take, really. Just disengage the auto throttle, because for some reason it wants to stay on and it won't let me like throttle up while ever that's on, so it doesn't automatically disengage. I don't know whether that's something I have to do, or, you know, I have no idea. And then we will get, hopefully when we've parked up here, we'll get GSX to deboard the passengers, and I will leave you with some of that footage, and I will hopefully also do a full shutdown, and we'll go cold and dark. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, I'm going to be doing a lot more videos like this, full flights, might even do some long hauls, and yeah, so thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one, and also be sure to leave a comment if you have any advice or tips or any questions you want me to deal with, etc, etc. Just let me know and I'll do my best to help. So I will leave you with the rest of this footage, guys. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.
Bye-bye. Bye, have a good one. Bye, have a good one.
Thank you, good night. Thank you.